Njengephathi liphathula ukufuna umthombo. I welcome all of you again baphulaphuli bam abazintanda kwesi sikhululo senu sinomahluko IKNR Kiting radio, and I'm sorry for any other thing that might have tried to disturb us seeing each other, enjoying watching each other on our radio visual, on our radio visual. KNR is a radio visual, and because we try to do radio just according to your specification, you are the one that determines how we should do radio here, and we do the best we can to do it according to you. Watch this space, you are still gonna see more and more that indicates that we do it exactly. It's just what the listener ordered. It's just what you have said we must do. Welcome again. I'm very sorry for anything that might have disturbed you. We were just in the middle of a talk. I don't know what I was saying, but I think I decided today to embark on a brand new topic. Then I said, let us talk about trust. And I said the reason why I think about it is because trust is the foundation of attitude. And I said that trust is an attitude that allows people to rely on, and trust is an attitude that allows people to have confidence in, and trust is an attitude that allows people to feel secure about other people and things. And I said that relying on trust implies a free choice to commit yourself to another person, but risking implies the willingness to suffer loss in case things go wrong in a relationship. It's only when people have something to lose that makes trust more meaningful. You know, if there is nothing to lose, then trust doesn't have any meaning at all. You know, and I said sharing implies giving something of yourself, e.g. energy, money, time, affection, or whatever, to other people and receive something in exchange that promises a mutually desirable outcome. We are talking about trust, and I was just embarking on the depth of the topic that we are discussing today. I even said that there are 4 levels of trust. I mentioned them very well. I said there is a negotiated trust, a conditional trust, a cooperative trust, and an unconditional trust. Hear me again, because I know some of you are writing. It's the negotiated trust, the conditional trust, the cooperative trust, and the unconditional trust. I did a lot in unpacking these types of trust, and I said that the negotiated trust exists in a relationship when people need formal agreement. You know, that kind of trust exists only to the extent that things are explicitly agreed upon. You only trust what people state in a formal agreement. And I said, when we say trust is conditional, a conditional trust exists when people are willing to give each other the benefit of doubt, but reserve their full judgment until they see how everyone behaves. People earn trust by proving themselves. Come on, man. You don't just entrust without having proved yourself. I'm talking of conditional trust. They adopt a wait and a see kind of an attitude, and each person has various expectations for other members of the group. Now, the failure to meet those expectations lead to the reduction of trust. There is an attitude of goodwill combined with wariness. People do not feel they are adversaries. They believe that they have interest in common. They are willing to give each other a chance, and they believe that other members are starting with a very good intention. Then I think I was about to talk about the cooperative trust when this Vodacom thing came in and disturbed me unnecessarily. I hate to keep on mentioning it. It's not. I'll call it VO because I don't want to mention its full name here in case it gets a free advert from me. Cooperative trust. At this level of trust, people have expectation of each other, but failing to meet these expectations does not automatically erode the level of trust. It leads the person to assume that there are some misunderstanding and misconceptions. Belief in other people is not easily shaken by occasional mistakes in a kind of a cooperative trust. It is not it is not easily shaken by occasional mistakes or by lapses in judgment or errors. When this level of trust pervades a partnership, each member is actively seeking ways to further understand the other and reconcile their differences. Then there is the fourth one, which I've said is the unconditional trust. The unconditional trust. Listen to me very carefully. And Nati Emmanuel Kocha, I see you. Welcome, son. Come to the keyboard and concern ogwemka wochone kapa wa tintin. Come back emfondini. We are full concern. The keyboard is corner. For you to come and play that keyboard. Now, let me talk about the unconditional trust. This trust exists when people rely on the word of each other without questioning it. It is a trust unaffected by individual weaknesses. Umntu vele athethe khona ndiyamthemba ndiyamethemba. It exists among people when they are willing to take responsibility for their own actions and their own state, and they fully trust that others will do the same. Unquestioning faith is placed in the values, intentions, actions, and decisions of another. Trust does not exist unless it exists in you. Hear me. Trust does not exist unless it exists in you. Can I ask you a king-size question? Are you trustful? Do you have it in you? Do you trust other people? Because there will be no trust if there is no trust in you. If you are unable to trust other people, unfortunately, trust ceases to exist. It exists if it exists in you. Now, I'm asking you a question. Are you trustful? I want to give you 6 common beliefs about trust. Ask yourself whether you agree. Then see what the latest, what I can call it, scientific evidence says. The belief number 1 that people have is that people who are trustful are gullible. Belief number 2 is that trustful people are less perspective than mistrustful people of what others are really feeling. The other belief is that people with a poor opinion of themselves are less trustful than people with a good opinion of themselves. The other common belief is that stupid people are trustful, smart people are mistrustful. The other belief is that trustful people rely on others to direct their lives for them. Mistrustful people rely on themselves. What I want to tell you very quickly, before I even wait for me to tell you what's the scientific evidence proved to the contrary. The exact opposite is true, because 3 different teams of researchers in one of the institutions of higher learning found that people who feel controlled by outside persons and forces are relatively mistrustful. In contrast, those people who feel pretty much in charge of what happens to them tend to trust other people. And on the sixth point, something I need to mention very quickly is that trustful people is another belief that people have. People have a belief that trustful people are more trustworthy than mistrustful people. You know, let me tell you something I know. The ancient Greeks used to say, he who mistrusts most should be trusted least. I like this. He who mistrusts most should be trusted least. You know, evidence has verified that people who trust others can be trusted more than those who are mistrustful. That's the bottom line. Trustful people, you know, are easily trusted themselves. Let me speak very quickly of what destroys trust. In this age and time, I think the best word that I can use here is busters. Let me call those things that erode trust busters. That trust is at great risk with busters. Things that are against trust. Yay, Lutando Mdanam, welcome. And that's my brother's son coming up. And on my show, Ultando, Masiza. Oh, trust busters. I'm trying to think what I can tell my listeners. It's just that I'm not running out of ideas, but I'm trying to think how many things can I say about things that destroy trust. Let me mention 5 for argument's sake. 5 things can destroy trust. It can destroy it like it has never existed. The first trust buster is breaking promises. You know, never promise more than you can perform. Because I want to tell you that men are like their promises. It's only in their deeds that they differ. The next thing I want to say that destroys trust is talking behind people's back. That habit destroys trust like nothing in the world. I call it a trust buster. Talking behind people's back. Because whoever gossips to you will gossip of you. I once read a poem. It's just that I don't remember the author or the poet, but the poem is entitled My Name is Gossip. It's just entitled My Name is Gossip. Because I don't remember the writer of the poem, I will call it anonymous. But I'm sure this is not anonymous. It's just me forgetting who wrote the poem. Akonatini, come on board, Ntanam, and welcome. You know, let me go through this poem because I want you to hear me so well. My name is Gossip. I'm reciting the poem for you. My name is Gossip. My name is Gossip. I have no respect for justice. I maim without killing. I break hearts and ruin lives. I'm cunning and malicious and gather strength with age. The more I'm quoted, the more I'm believed. My victims are helpless. They cannot protect themselves against me because I have no name and I have no face. To track me down is impossible. The harder you try, the more elusive I become. I am nobody's friend. Once I tarnish a reputation, it is never the same. I topple governments and wreck marriages. I ruin careers and cause sleepless nights, heartache and indigestion. Yes, my name is Gossip. I make innocent people cry in their pillows. Even my name hisses because I am called Gossip. I'm not the author. I just remember those lines and I've forgotten who wrote it. You know, the third trust buster is when Altando being judgmental or being very critical. You have to belittle in order to belittle. Come on, man, catch me here. You can never belittle anyone unless you yourself have chosen to belittle. In order to belittle, you have to belittle. You know, a kind of a joke I once heard of a newly married bridegroom. They said, now that we are married, my dear, I hope you won't mind my mentioning a number of defects that I've noticed about you. Then the other one replied and said, not at all, dear. The lady replied, those defects are what kept me from getting a better husband. I love the reply of this lady, because he said, go on, because if I have some defects, they are the things that have stopped me from getting a better husband, implying that the one who is a husband is not a better one indeed. I will tell you quickly, the fourth thing that destroys trust is twisting the truth. If you once forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizen, you can never regain their respect and esteem. And the other trust buster is taking care of personal needs and wants at the expense of other people. Let me just say like what is selfishness. When you take care of personal needs and personal wants at the expense of other person, you are destroying trust. Once a trust is lost in any relationship, it's like a mirror struck by a stone. The glass shatters, and although tiny pieces can be glued back into position, the mirror always shows the cracks. They are deep and they are numerous. Let me stop talking to you about trust busters. And maybe it will make a balance if I speak about trust builders. What it is that can build up trust. Trust builders. Come on, man. We are on Born to Lead. And this is KNR. And I am your friend. There we are. Yes. Facebook. Radio. Yes. All right. I trust that you are on a journey with me. We are talking about trust. And I want to change the gear and talk about trust builders, things that build trust, because we definitely would love trust to be built. And with the few minutes I have in front of me, I can say some few good things. Number one thing that can build a trust is keeping your word. Keep your word. Words to remember in keeping your word are integrity, consistency, reliability, interdependence. Remember those words when you are keeping your word, because integrity is acting in a forthright and a truthful manner. What we mean is what we say, or we mean what we say. That's integrity. When you mean what you say. Then there is what I call consistency. You know, consistency is making words and actions compatible. Words and actions become compatible. What we do and what we say. And then in the third place, there is what I call reliability. Reliability is keeping promises. You can count on what we do and say. And then there is the fourth word I've mentioned is interdependence. That is establishing a relationship, because we are all in this together. Establish a relationship. The other trust, the second trust builder, is showing respect to other people. ayikabikho into eyakha itrust njengokubonakalisa ukubahlonipha abanye abantu. Showing respect to other people. Respect. To consider worthy of high regard and high esteem. To consider worthy of high regard and esteem. That's what we call respect. I should mention the third trust builder. The third thing that you can do to build trust is being dependable. You know, what you do speaks so loud in my ears that I can't hear a word of what you are trying to say. That is, izenzo zakho zingcola ngaphezu kwale nto uzama ukundixelela yona. Being dependable. Lamfo owayewona la company engathi seyaphelelwa kwakuthiwa iMotorola, niyayikhumbula ezafuni zakudala. Libele ezinye amagama wazo kodwa kwakhona nekwakuthiwa iMotorola. Lamfo kwakuthiwa nguMichael Winston. Enye yezinto awakhe wayithetha, which I still remember, what effective leaders ensure that people feel strong and capable. In every major survey on practices of effective leaders, trust in leader is essential if other people are going to follow that person over time. People must experience the leader as believing, credible, and trustworthy. One of the ways trust is developed, whether in the leader or in any other person, is through consistency on behavior. Trust is also established when words and deeds are congruent. Okwangoku bengisakhumbula amazwi nje kamfoka Winston, uMichael wakwaMotorola. Enye into yesine that builds up trust is speaking the truth in love. Speaking the truth in love. You know, we trust people who help us discover the truth, even if it is uncomfortable. You know, let me tell you this. Often, the shortest path to a trusting relationship crosses through some feelings of discomfort. People will trust you more when they become comfortable being sometimes uncomfortable when they are with you. The truth isn't always pleasant. We can all agree on that. But when you tell them the truth about, they are not happy about it. The truth is that the truth is not always pleasant. It's not always nice. Help other people get past their discomfort and move towards decision that will benefit them and make them feel good. Amen. Yeah, Lucanyo Kapugis and where's the joining? Help them to pass their discomfort and move towards a decision that will benefit them and make them feel good. If you help people recognize the truth and deal with their discomfort, they will trust you. They will trust you. The fourth trust builder is cultivate a trusting heart. Those who have a trusting heart are more likely to remain healthy throughout most of their lives and to live long. Such heart believes in the basic goodness of humankind, that most people will be fair and kind in relationship with other people. Because I'll tell you this, few delights can equal the mere presence of the one whom we trust utterly. Maybe it will be fair of me in the next 5 minutes to take you on board on some practical steps. I know what I'm thinking in my head. It's just that you don't know. And let me tell you, I want us to learn in just a space of 10 minutes how to rebuild a relationship when trust is gone. Amen. Are you here? Are you here? How to build. In fact, I'm not asking how to build. I'm asking how to rebuild a relationship when trust is gone. Gone. How do you rebuild a relationship? You had a relationship with this person. You love this person. But unfortunately, they corroded. They destroyed the trust. And katal noba lonto bayenze through gossip, noba bayenze through whatever. But the truth of the matter is that they destroyed the trust. Lukani, this thing is adding you. And I trust uzawungena apha studio sasaze kunye nam now that I'm adding you. Yes. Edmond, I'm glad ungena into ingekagqimi unento ufika late eklasini. Next time ufika late, i-5 lectures iza kufumana. Uzawuba ne-5 lectures yonke. Lukhanyo, welcome son. Ndisathetha nomfana ongena apha emva kwakho kuthiwa ngu-Edmond Makalim into yobana makahambe makafike kwangoko into ofika kade izawumenza uba azibethise ngam 5 lectures kunjalo noba i-corporal punishment yayekiswa nje but uzayibeka apha kule nto yokufika late eklasini. All right, one of the final things I want to end on in our teaching today is how to rebuild a relationship when trust is gone. Ngoba ngamanye amaxesha i-trust iyafa. Yawukolisile uyonxiba mntanam, asikufuna emoyeni ujajile. All right, ngamanye amaxesha i-trust iyafa. You know, trust can be gone completely, either through bad mouthing, through gossip, through any other thing that a person can do. I-trust yenzakale. Now, the big question I'm asking, but how do you build a relationship when trust is gone? I'll tell you some few things. Number one, acknowledge the problem. Oh, please, man. Yabona kana sekuphele trust ningasavani completely. Uba ufuna nivane, please don't try to live in a denial. Acknowledge the problem. Often when we have been deeply hurt, fear of confrontation may cause us to withdraw from the relationship. Ngengobana ufilisha ngathi kwenzakale kakhulu kangangoba kungathi ubeke wakonfronta uzawuba hurt more, and then uvele decide into yobana mawuvele withdraw from the relationship when you are deeply hurt. Facing the offending person and verbally expressing the disappointment or the anger and demolish the sense of trust is very important. Ubangaba kukhona umuntu okhe wakukhubekisa, wakwenzakalisa, wakuhethisha, wakwenza waphelelwa lithemba lokumthemba. I tell you, if you want to rebuild that relationship after trust is gone, I will tell you what you must do. Confront that person, yes, confront that person, face the offending person, and verbally express the disappointment, the anger, the demolished sense of trust, because that is important. The other person may be blind to the consequences of his or her behavior until you open up his eyes by simply telling him how you feel that your trust has been damaged. Do that, man. I'll tell you the second thing that you must do in order to rebuild the trust that is lost. Yes, namhlanje sithetha ngento encinci nje. Into encinci, we call it trust, the foundation of leadership. Trust, the foundation of leadership. We are now on a part where we are looking at what you can do when trust is gone, but you still desire to rebuild that relationship after trust is gone. I've said the first thing you do is acknowledge the problem. Confront the offending person and express your disappointment, express your anger, and express your demolished sense of trust, because that is very important. And secondly, choose to forgive. Forgiveness is the best medicine, best medicine ever that a person can think of. Choose to forgive. Whenever trust is broken, you have a difficult choice. You can choose to harbor your hate and reinforce your mistrust, or you can choose to forgive the other person. It's yours. Kete yako kubindlela zimbini. Yes, you can choose to harbor your trust and reinforce mistrust, or you can choose to forgive the other person. Let me tell you this. Danke life na kumtapukisi lo. Lentwana yam can be young, but ininsi ngqondo pha mokoni imambela ngenye imini. There are three roads to travel. There is a low road, a middle road, and there is a high road. A low road is where you treat other people worse than you treat yourself. And the middle road is where you treat other people the same as you treat yourself. And the high road is when you treat other people better than you treat yourself. That is the high road. Sekucacile ngokwezindlela zamazimbinanga zintathu. Khethe yakho kuba indlela zintathu. Is either you choose a low road, a middle road, or a high road. Ubeke wachoose a low road is where you treat others worse than yourself. Ubeke wachoose a middle road is where you treat others the same like you treat yourself. Ubeke wachoose a high road is where you treat others better than you treat yourself. Let me tell you quickly. Okubana ikhona nenye indlela ongenza ngayo to rebuild trust when it is gone. In fact, I'll rebuild the trust or rebuild a relationship. What is broken is a relationship. Iphulwe a relationship ubunayo nomuntu ngenxa ye trust. Sanengana nje ukwenza imizekelo, uba uyindoda etshatileyo uye wachitha waze umkakho wangaphinda kuthembe uba uyindoda uyoqobo indoda eqotho. They want to borrow a Zulu term because of your cheating, and therefore your relationship with your wife is now broken because the trust is broken. Now, if you want to rebuild the relationship, I've said in the third place, verbally commit, and in the third place, when you risk wisely. Risk wisely. I don't think committing to rebuild means turning off your brain. Trust is built by a series of successful risk. Expressing what can I say? I'm losing my English terms now. Expressing your vulnerability and finding a safe response. Rebuilding trust is the same process. Then consequently, it is sensible to begin with small risk. Let me tell you the fifth thing that you can do to rebuild a trust that is lost. Into esihlanu mawuyenze ukurebuild a relationship when trust is gone. Because a relationship ayina foundation is shaking. Ngengoba kuye kwaphela trust. Because kuphele trust, ungenza ntoni ukuyibuilda relationship when trust is gone? I'm trying to give you tips. Ndifuna ube clever man. Ukwenzela uzomelana nemeko zobomi. Ndithe okokuqala, acknowledge the problem. That okwesibini, choose to forgive. That okwesithathu, verbally commit. That okwesine, risk wisely. Ndithi kube okwesihlanu, work together. Work together. I mean, talk openly about those actions that are restorative. so avoid so vele uzenze sibe go areas ezizinto obonayo ba singalungiseka yithi hayi ndizoyeka ngoku mani ndichitha ngoku ndiyekile lo ngqala leyo yochitha kakade mandingenwe yintoni nje ndiyakwazi ukungachithi ndizawungachithi qha. Talk openly about those actions that are restorative, because when they happen, express your appreciation for them. Yithi xana isenzeka into right, express your appreciation, man. Enye into yenza abantu abaye baluza i-relationship ngenxa yokulahleka kwe-trust, baba stuck sele befuna uphinde babuyelane. Angisathethi ngezithandana, ndithetha ngabantu nje bebesazana kuloo mission bebedityaniswe kuyo nguThixo. Ngoku abasavani ngenxa yoba baluze i-trust, abathembananga ngenxa yoba ungamthembanga omnye umntu uthi noba sowuqonda uba Hashem isalam ngathi uba sasiphulukwe nje izinto zobuntu but ngoku siyafuna uguquka, but still ubona uba awazi uba mawuthini ukuze niphinde nihleke njengakuqala, nibhantsane njengakuqala, nihambe kunye njengakuqala, ninikane izinto ebeninikana zona njengakuqala, nibe ngathi anikhange nikhe niwele lo mlambo ubana nikhe niqhubekisane ningathembani. Uyaqonda, nibe stuck ke ngoku. Ndithi ke kuwe into ekuncedisayo ukuze uthi go through that and rebuild your relationship when trust is gone, work together, talk openly about those actions that are restorative, and once they happen, please, man, express your appreciation for them. Before my time is over, hey Lukanyo, let me read what you're saying, mntanam. Uthi Lukanyo, kethe yakho yes, noba indlela zintathu noba zimbili kethe yakho. All right, let me mention the sixth one ke Lukanyo, and I'm gone. Sendithetha ngendlela ezintandathu, 6 ways zokubuilda i-relationship when trust is gone. Ayizona ezokubuilda wethu, zezokuthi rebuild a relationship when trust is gone. The sixth thing that you must do, sixth thing, which in my opinion could be the last thing that I share with you. Enye yendlela ongabuilda ngayo, ongathi rebuild ngayo a relationship when trust is gone. Celebrate victory. Trust you have heard me. Celebrate victory. Qondisa Fipaza, welcome. Celebrate victory. When you are honestly working towards rebuilding trust, you will one day realize you are trusting again. Cha ifuna lento ube conscious. Ungabi ngathi uzawugileka kuyo by accident. Tell yourself into yobana sezingqondweni ndibhadlile and ndine-intention, I am intentional okubana ndithi rebuild this relationship. Lo mntu waxoka ngam, wagosipha ngam, wenyelisa igama lam, wathi talk behind my back, wenza izinto ezaba ngibani ndingamthembi. I no longer trust the person because use a lot of trust busters. That kade ndimthanda ndimthembile kodwa uthe uba athi talk behind my back, uthe into yobana athethe ubuxoki ngegama lam, uthe into yobana athi gossip about me. Ndaphelelwa kukumthemba umhlobo wam, ndimjongile njengoku futhi andifuni noba kumane kuthiwa ngabantu ngumhlobo wam ngenxa yobana trust is gone between the two of us. But I am begging you, I am on my knees asking you that there is something you can do to rebuild that relationship even if trust is lost. And I've mentioned 6 things already. Acknowledge the problem, be frank about it, confront the person. That always means choose to forgive. Vele umxolele man, uzixelele futhi nobana lento yokumxolela i-choice, awunyanzelwanga uxolo lu-active, luyi-choice, uthathe isigqibo sokubana umxolele. And ndithe okwesithathu, verbally commit. Mxelele into yobana look here my friend, ndirhalela ndiphinde ndikuthembe. I want to rebuild the trust, and I know le nto endiyifunayo i-risky ngoba sondibonisile ngaphambili uba uyakwazi ukungathembeki, but kunjalo verbally commit. And okwesibini, kwi-risk ozawuphinda uzithathe nalo mntu, zithathe wise kule game, masibe zi-calculated risk. So vele wenzela ntoni man, so yakhe yathi enye inkosikazi xabene nomyeni wayo yathi umane ezocela uxolo, ngoku ndiyamxolela, ngoku andiyazi noba ndimxolele, ncenga uba aphinde enze laa nto ebeyenze kum emveni kobana ndimxolile. Anna, you are misunderstanding uxolo kwakunye ne-reconciliation. I'm not asking you to reconcile, I'm asking you to forgive. There is a big difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. When you forgive a person, you forgive a person unconditionally. He does not have to do anything good for him to be forgiven. He just received forgiveness. Esabole enjalo, yile nto ethi iBhayibhile, ngexesha esasirhonorhono ngamanyala wethu uThixo wasiwela ngokusithanda. Zange siqale sibe clean before sibe lovable to God. So umntu xa umxolela, umxoleli ngobe right, umxolela nje kuba it is in your heart and it's in the nature of a child of God to forgive. You are to forgive. Ide ithi iBhayibhile, forgive 70 times 70. Yes. Forgive. Now, I say ke ngoku, choose to forgive. Choose to forgive. Because when you do that, you are working towards restoring and rebuilding that relationship. You know, and I've said risk wisely. And I've said in the fifth place, work together. But finally, before I stop talking, because my time is over, celebrate the victory. Because I've said to you, and I will say it again, that when you are honestly working towards rebuilding trust, you will one day realize you are trusting again. You will, as long as uconscious uba man noba sasixabene kodwa ndifuna uphinde ndimthembe lo mfo, uyawuthi ungazazi ubomi batyini, hayi ndiphinde namthemba, ngoku sikhe saphoxana kangaka, ngoku sikhe samoshana kangaka, ngoku inkulu kangaka into embi esenzene yona, but something strange ndiye ndaphinda ndamthemba. I have a heart that is retrusting. I am trusting again. It is such a gradual purpose that it's a gradual process that it's likely to come gently to your awareness, like the dawning of the new day. You know, they normally say the darkest hour of the night is shortly before the dawn. You know, therefore it will come like the dawning of a new day. In a strange way, uvela ubone kusisa, kukhanya, uphinda uconnecta, niphinda nitrustana again. When in the case, xa niphinde natrustana again, xa kwenzekile nabuyelana, xa kwenzekile nabuya nathembana, when it occurs, thank God, have a feast of celebration with that person. That's worth a serious party. Hayi masikhobo ngengoba benikade niphambene, but niye na conscious obana manibuyelane. Mandisiphinde ke izinkalo zam as I end and pray and leave you for today. How to rebuild a relationship when trust is gone. Number 1, acknowledge your problem. Number 2, choose to forgive. Number 3, verbally commit. Number 4, risk wisely. Number 5, work together. And lastly, celebrate victory. I trust that you trust me because I trust you. And therefore, even if there is a reason for you not trusting me, we can rebuild our relationship if we are conscious of trusting one another. I am your friend. I will remain with you. Come, whatever that may come. You are a darling to me, and I love you with all of my heart. The rest of the week, rest assured that I walk beside you, shoulder to shoulder. Keep tight, keep safe, and may God continue to bless you wherever you go. Let me end up, trusting that you will love listening to this song. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. They will always smile.
Siza,